Hello, everyone, and welcome to Evolve Yourself TV. I am Agni James, and tonight we'll be doing some meditation and a little bit of talk prior to the meditation. So, how's everyone doing tonight? It is 9:48 p.m. Chicago time, yeah, I hope everyone's having a good day. I can tell you a little bit about my day. Today I taught a chess class, and I had some kindergartners in my class, and it's kind of interesting when you got to teach the real little ones, especially the ones that aren't very enthusiastic about chess. It's a whole different dynamic. A lot of times I give private lessons to people who are really into chess. Adults, adolescents, people who just really love it and are passionate about it and are competing in tournaments and things like that. And when I'm working with them, it's pretty easy and straightforward. I'm working with them on improving their tactical play, their positional play. We study openings, we study imbalances, we study endgame positions, all sorts of stuff. And I have a whole routine that I do with them. But when I'm working with a kindergartner, it's a completely different deal. One of my students today, she's basically with her. It's just a matter of like trying to get her not to put the piece in her mouth. Like she's just really big at like picking up the pieces and be like, look, these two pieces, you can bang them together and they make a nice sound. And it's like, yeah, okay, kid. I mean, I get that they make a nice sound. I get that you think it's aesthetically pleasing to like bang two of my pieces together, but can you A, not break my pieces, and B, not put them in your mouth? And see, like, be receptive to what I have to teach you. I'm trying to teach you about like the most amazing game on the planet. Like, let's go. And I'm making it fun. I mean, the other kids seem to be enjoying it. Why do you want to like throw my pieces across the room? So, so, and it's crazy because I don't have just kindergartners. I have like sixth graders who like are like competitive and want to play and are like, really up for the game. So it's always interesting when you have like kindergartners through like sixth grade or kindergartners through eighth grade. You always have to specialize your lesson plans for each student and try to condense fit in a lot of content into a short period of time because I only teach for an hour at this particular school. But it's always a challenge. Makes it interesting. It's like I go to that one student, and I'm like, okay, let me show you how the pieces move. Here's the sheet, and remember this time, and try to remember and pay attention to what I'm telling you. And then I'm going over to like an advanced sixth grader, and we're sitting down, and I'm going over, advanced tactics with that student. So it's kind of different. And then you got the kids that are like going crazy with behavior issues. They're like getting out of their seat and like they think it's a good idea to like run around and slide into the wall. It's like, okay, that's great. Like we're playing chess here. We're not playing slide into the wall and possibly break your foot. Speaking of which, when I was a young kid, I was about 5 years old. My grandfather showed up, and I was so excited that he showed up that I wanted to show off my new slide that I'd been doing. I was a baseball. I was big into baseball even at 5 years old. I was learning the game, and I just learned how to slide really well. So I proceeded to run through the house and slide and into the wall and break my toe. So I think that's where I got that from. But yeah, so anyways, it was quite a challenge. And then let's see, I had the one kid. One kid lost a tooth today, and he was wigging out, because kids' teeth fall out. I guess that's like part of the deal, right? So I had him go get a paper towel to wrap the tooth in because he wanted to save it. And yeah, that was the big excitement for that. And then tonight I did a yoga class. I went to Bikram yoga, which is always intense. Oh, and it's cool because I got to have an instructor that I haven't had in a while. I had her Monday and today, but typically she doesn't teach Monday and Wednesday nights, and those are the nights that I've been going a lot lately. She's probably the most intense instructor at the studio these days because she sticks to the original script and she's no nonsense. You hold the postures as long as you're supposed to. She doesn't let you cheat and get out of that stuff. And she's like no nonsense. She's like one of the original instructors from like 10 years ago that I would have had. And she's a quality instructor. When I take her class, you got to take it seriously, and you work out hard. And I'm the kind of person that gives it my all. I don't want to fuck around. I'm never going to half-ass a workout. The only time I'll do a little bit less is when I have like bodily pain, an injury that I'm trying to like, not make worse. And if that's the case, then yeah, I'll like be a little more sensitive to my body and take it easy or a little bit more on certain postures and workouts, exercises that are gonna could possibly make the injury worse. But typically, I'm gonna go all in, and that's my personality in general. If I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna go all in on that, right? When I was when I was in grad school and I was studying for the it's a comprehensive examination that we had to do. We had 4 months to study for it. We got to pick a particular area of philosophy that we really liked. I chose philosophy of mind because that's my favorite area. And then we were given 10 questions, and we had to write 10 different papers over that period of time, and then we had to memorize the papers. And we'd go in, and they would ask us, ask us 3 random questions from that set of 10 questions. So when we got that, as soon as we got the questions, it was right before summer. I I went home and started studying that day, and I spent 8 to 14 hours every single day for those 4 months studying that, including working on top of that. I worked a job on top of that. So I took 3 days. 3 days I took off, and I didn't study that. But other than 4 months, 8 to 14 hours a day, and I worked on top of it because I didn't want to fuck around. There were students that weren't passing it on their first time. They weren't passing the comps. A lot of really smart, brilliant fucking students in my class were not passing it. I mean, there was one kid got he missed 1 on the GRE. It's like, and he didn't pass the comps. So I didn't want to be in that position because then you have to study for the comps and take classes on top of that. So I wanted to pass it on my first time. So I just went all in. I went all in, and that's how I do it in life. I feel like if there's something you want, if there's something you really care about, and you go all in on it, and you give it everything you have, and let's say you don't make it, you don't achieve it, then so what? There's no regrets, right? Because it's like there's nothing more I could have done. So what? It's like the universe is unfair. It gave me a neurophysiological constitution such that there was nothing I could do. It was no matter how hard I tried, it was not possible for me to achieve that goal. And then you can just kind of go off and do something else, right? The worst case though is like when you half-ass something. When there's something that you want and you half-ass your attempt to get it, and then you don't get it, and then you're in the back of your mind, you're always thinking, oh, if only I had worked a little harder, if only I didn't go to that one party, and had studied instead, or if only I had applied a little to more places to get that particular job opening or whatever, then you're gonna have regrets. And I don't want to have regrets. I want to give it all that I have and go and go through life that way, and that's how I do it. But yeah, that's just me. Everyone's got their own way of doing things, but I don't want to have any regrets in life. So let's see what else is going on. We got a quiet chat today. How is anyone got anything to say, or should we just hop into meditation? I like putting people on the spot when I can, but yeah, I don't always do that. Well, let's see. Another thing, I was watching the Kyle Rittenhouse cross examination today. That was kind of interesting. I'm not used to watching cross examinations, and it was really interesting because I've read up on the Kyle Rittenhouse stuff, and it's like it's crazy. There's really no good solution to that problem. I feel like. I mean, he's like a dumb kid, but he wasn't maliciously trying to hurt people, but people got killed. He killed people. So it's fucking crazy. It's fucking crazy. It's like what do you do? You got this kid who was like trying to help, and then he fucking hurt. His intentions were good at least from what I can tell. I mean, who knows? Maybe he's just a good actor, and maybe it's or his attorney's good at like prepping him. But he sounds like a genuine human being who's there like trying to fucking help. And sure, he has like some fucked up beliefs, but who doesn't? Who doesn't have fucked up beliefs? But in this case, his fucked up beliefs ended up, he ended up killing people because, and people died in the process. It's crazy. So like, what are you gonna do? Hey, we got JT Farms here. How's it going, JT? Saving conversation for inside the breath. I get that, JT. I'm all for that. I'm up here talking, but none of the shit I really say prior to the meditation is very important. I mean, sometimes we talk about philosophy, and I feel like that's got some value. It might not have any practical value that you're gonna use to get a job or something, but it might have wisdom value, if some more deep down intuitive value. But for the most part, I feel like the majority of the value in these streams is conveyed through the meditation. But that's just my opinion on that. Let's see. Oh, we got Christine the Bean here. Hey, good to see you, Christine. I hope all is well with you. I know you said you got to check out that your nephew's jazz concert or whatever. That's really cool, and I'm glad you had a good time with that. It's pretty awesome that you got some young kids that you get to hang out with and spend time with and really get to see them to grow and develop. You've been there from the beginning, and it's pretty neat. Some of my a lot of, I don't have any close, like, I don't have any nephews or nieces, but I have some cousins and some of my friends have little kids, and it's always weird, like watching them grow and develop. To be honest, I'd rather be doing philosophy and studying chess. I mean, that's just who I am. I like being honest about that shit. Most people are like, a lot of people are like, oh, I just want to be around kids all day, and spend time with kids. And I see kids through my chess, but like for the most part, I'm more into philosophy and chess and yoga and things like that. Grace Yoga is here. Speaking of perfect transition, Grace pops in, and then I say the word yoga. How's it going, Grace Yoga? I hope you're doing well. Grace is going to become the world chess champion pretty soon. I have strong feelings about that. Yeah, you were just playing some chess. Awesome. Yeah, I think you're going to be the world chess champion. I think that's it. You're gonna go from yoga to chess, and you're gonna show the world what's up with chess. Either that, or at least you'll be able to beat your husband at some point. Remember, if you want tips, I know a really good chess instructor. He's like the smoothest, awesome dude in the world. He's actually streams here on Twitch in the Evolve Yourself TV community, and I think that's even his name, Evolve Yourself TV. He goes by the name Agni James, just so you know. And I could talk to him and like see if he's willing to give you some tips for beating your husband in chess. Um, all right, where are we at here? Where are we at? Are we getting off base? A big shout out, by the way, to Grace Yoga. She's a streamer here in the fitness and health community, and she's a pro. I always call Grace the pro. She's got the thing down, perfectly. Her scene is beautiful. All her scenes are beautiful. She's beautiful. She has a wonderful content that she teaches others. She's teaching people about one of the most important things on the planet, which is taking care of themselves through yoga. Taking care of your body and mind, and it's basically like saved countless people's existences throughout the years. So, if you're going to be a teacher, Grace, why not? Yeah, why not teach the most important thing you could possibly teach, which I feel is yoga. So it's pretty awesome. Yeah, so that's good. So good. I've got JT and Chris engaged in good conversation. Let's see. You said you don't know about the world chess. You're just having fun. Yeah, I know. I'm kind of joking with that. I just like I like pumping people up about chess, because it's something that I care so much about. When there's something you care about, like it's like a lot of times you want to talk it up and get people involved and enthusiastic about that thing, right? It's just like a weird thing with human nature. I wonder why that is. Why is it that like if an individual likes something, if a certain individual likes something, they're more prone to really espouse the virtues of that thing, right? Even if they know that the other person's like not going to be all about it, they're still like very inclined to try to get people to enjoy the same things that they do. That's kind of a weird notion. I mean, I can give a diachronic explanation, like an evolutionary explanation, and say, oh, well, the reason is simply because people were back when humans were evolving back 100,000 years ago. When other people shared in a certain individual's pastimes or whatnot, then they had a greater chance of survival, right? Because they formed bonds and connections and things like that, and then that got passed on through the generations. And because that individual had a greater chance of survival and procreating, because he or she had a particular gene set, right? So then they were able to pass those genes on, and those genes got passed on, and yada yada yada. You can always give a good make up a good evolutionary story about why that's the case, but it might not be, right? I mean, it's a lot of times in science and philosophy, we're just basically in sociology and all these things, we're just basically like making up stories about what could be the case, what's a plausible explanation for why a given phenomenon is actually present in the world, right? What makes sense to us. But we got to remember, like, we're such limited beings to begin with. we have a finite amount of information that we can even process, and we're getting it distorted through our sensory, our five senses, right? So it's like, and then we're taking that and we're making these wild uh, we're extrapolating, we're making these wild, predictions about the world and trying to understand the world, with this tiny little bit of information. So it's like, why would anything we think even why is it even remotely likely to be the case? I mean, we're just making up stories a lot of times. We're just making shit up. I mean, that's kind of how it is with human beings. We go around through the world, and we try to learn things, right? We're like Sisyphus pushing that fucking boulder up the mountain, right? Every day we're trying to learn things, and then that boulder's just gonna roll down, and it's like, oh well, everything that you thought you knew, yeah, it turns out that was all false, right? Because you believed in some foundational premises that were actually not true. They were not the case. But good try. Good try to understand why your world is like it is. I mean, but here's the thing, though. Here's the cool thing, and the French existentialists touched on this. They're like, well, okay, we may not ever know anything, we may not know some of this shit, but like at least we can try, and like there's intrinsic value. There's value in just trying to know something, and it's like, well, that kind of works for me, right? Maybe there's some value in that process. And I like to think there is, because if there's not, then everything kind of breaks down into meaninglessness and absurdity. So that's kind of what I stick with. At least it keeps me from like crying myself to sleep every night. So I guess that's a good thing. All right, what are we even fucking talking about? I gotta get back to chat. Where are we at here? All right, we got Christine the Bean doing her thing. We got Rocco Hemda's here. What is up, brother? I've known this guy forever, man. This guy, he's a good dude. And by the way, those of you who are into tabletop games, there's an awesome game. It's free online. I don't know how many of you played Dominion. Dominion is pretty badass. And me and this Rocco Hemda guy, we go on and we play Dominion late at night sometimes. It's a deck builder. So those of you who like tabletop games and want a relatively simple game that it's masterfully done, and there's people love this game. This was actually the grandfather of deck builders. It was like won the Germany prize of the tabletop game of the year in I don't fucking know, maybe 10 years ago or something, 15 years ago, and then there's been I don't know, 50 expansions because everyone loves the fucking game so much. Definitely check out Dominion if you can. I think you just type in Dominion tabletop games and you can play it for free online. If you ever want to play Agni James too, I'm gonna play pretty hard because I've studied the game, and I've actually this is kind of a cool story. So I was watching a bunch of this dude's YouTube videos. He's in the top 5 of Dominion players in the world, and he's got a bunch of YouTube videos out there. His name's Jay Nails. And so I was watching his YouTube videos about strategy for the game, learning and studying and shit like that. And then I was online, and I friended him, and I was able to watch some of his games, and then I was able to fucking play the dude. He's one of the top 5 Dominion players in the world. And throughout the course that we were playing, I was asking him questions, and he was giving me tips. And so I recorded the whole chat between me and him. So I got all of the information that he gave me, and I'm way better now because of it. He definitely helped me improve my game a lot, which is awesome, because I'm always looking to improve. One thing I fucking can't stand is stagnation. Fuck stagnation. I don't want to be stagnant. I want to learn. I want to improve. I want to better myself. I want to succeed with whatever I want to do. I don't want to just sit there and be like, I don't know. It's like I'll just make the same mistake over and over, because that's how it is. A lot of people are like, fuck it, let's just make the same mistake over and over and over the rest of our lives, and I don't know, maybe get drunk and fucking forget about it, right? But I don't want to do that. I want to fucking improve. I want to if I had enough time, my goal would be to become the best at every single thing on the planet. Unfortunately, bodies break down, and you can't be the best at everything, which really fucking makes me irate and pisses me off, because I would do it. I would fucking give every ounce of my effort to be the best at not everything, because to be the best at something that's that's a bad thing, right? Would be pretty ridiculous. But I try to be the best at basketball, at chess, at fucking Dominion, at every single thing I could possibly come across. Yoga, right? But obviously it's not going to work, because there's a finite amount of time. But I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. Where are we at here? Christine Mean, yoga and chess, a winning combination. Yeah, right? It's crazy, because those two, you wouldn't think that they actually help a lot, but they have this cool synergistic effect. I think it's because when you do yoga, you're in the mindset of being like, first of all, really focused, which is super important in chess. In chess, you need to be completely locked in on the board, super focused, because there's going to be all sorts of distractions. I mean, I was playing in the Chicago Open in 2014, and I had this fucking kid kicking me under the fucking table. Sure, he was a kid, but he was like a fucking, like, I don't know, 1700 rated player or some shit like that. He's like fucking like thinking it's like fun to like, you know, just like kick me under the table. I was like, dude. I just like stared at the kid, and then he just like stopped. But like, you know, like people do shit to try to distract you. Chess is very psychological. Like people will tap the table. They'll tap the table. They'll do like all sorts of weird shit. They'll like, you know, start eating at the table. It's like a very psychological. My whole thing is block all that shit out and just focus on what I'm doing. So it's like I just block all that fucking shit out, and I use what I've learned in meditation and yoga and qigong and kumai just to like block it all out and focus on what I'm doing. So yoga has helped me a lot in chess. And then also yoga is one of the most amazing things to help one become more flexible, right? And not just in a physical sense, you know, of your body being more flexible, but also being more flexible in the world, right? When those who practice yoga are not going to be like so stubborn to like be like locked into one path of action, right? They're more likely to be like, oh, you know what? I'm running into an obstacle here, so I'm gonna, you know, go around the obstacle. I'm not gonna just keep banging my head into the wall, right? That's like a yogi mindset. So and chess is very much chess rewards people who are more flexible, because chess works by, you know, white makes a move and they're presenting an idea to black, right? So it's like, here's a move, right? Here's my plan, and then black has to look at white's idea and say and recognize what it is, and then respond with their own idea in kind. So it's like they have to counter white's idea. They have to think, okay, is this a good plan or not? If so, what is the plan, and like what do I need to worry about it? And if so, like I want to, you know, respond to it and present my own plan. So then they make a move and respond to white, and then white makes a move and respond to black, back and forth. It's like a philosophical exchange, you know, between two philosophers, you know, talking back and forth. Like one person presents an idea, and another person thinks about that idea and then gives like, you know, raises an objection to that idea, you know, and then it's like a back and forth, right? And the same thing with chess. That's what chess is. So, hey, we got Nanera here. Hello, Nanera. A big shout out to Nanera. Nanera is an awesome streamer here and on Twitch. She's big into the fitness and health community, a super awesome, kind human being. And she also does health streams, which is really cool. She does cooking streams where she shows like meal prep and stuff. And that's something that I need to improve my game on. I need to step up my meal prep game, because, you know, a lot of time, like tonight, I was just like, what the fuck am I gonna eat? And I just like grabbed some fucking burgers and like just like threw them in a pot, and then like cooked them and threw some olives, cheese, and like fucking ketchup and mustard. And I was like, well, I guess this is my dinner, you know. It's like it was just like really spontaneous, and like I didn't really, you know, plan it out or anything. I wish I would have like my meals all planned and ready to go. For some reason, my meal prep game sucks. It just really fucking blows. So I got to work on that shit. And Swiss R just jumped in here. Beautiful. Hey, Swiss, good to see you. Wow, we got the whole crew in here today. Swiss, you were here yesterday. I think you said you were passing out. You're going to sleep or something, man. It's good to see you here, full of energy, full of love. Swiss is such an amazing dude. Let me give, I have my shout out always set to your fitness yoga stream, my automatic shout out. But I need to do give you a shout out to your other account as well. Swiss is a great streamer here on Twitch. He does a lot of travel streams and streams from the most beautiful location in the world, where he just so happens to live. It's in Switzerland, Vukrine. I don't know how you fucking pronounce it, but it's just a beautiful area. It's amazing. It's wonderful. And you know, he does these awesome streams and shows all this amazing architecture and these beautiful bodies of water. It's just an incredible landscape. So. Yeah, you know, like that's just what Swiss does. So we got some great people here. Check out their streams. Drop them a follow. Super kind, supportive, loving. I mean, shit. They even like me. Who the fuck would like me, right? If these people are going to be accepting and tolerant of Agni James, then like, you know, these got to be good people, right? They got to be kind human beings, right? Because I'm a pretty abrasive motherfucker. I'm from fucking Chicago, right? You know, I'm from Chicago. We fucking are abrasive and piss everyone off, right? You know, that's just how it goes. You know, like we have the highest amount of murders of any city in the fucking country, right? Who the fuck wants to hang out with someone from Chicago? All right, where are we at here in chat? Oh my god, I'm like missing all sorts of shit. All right, let's see. Like cigarettes and meditation, a winning combination. JT Farms, that's intense. That's intense. You know, I don't know many people that smoke cigarettes while they're meditating. Do you do that? Do you do that? That's kind of interesting. I like that though. I should be here like smoking cigarettes while I'm doing the meditation. Would that be distracting if I was just like, like smoking like while I'm doing the meditation? I don't know if it would add or detract from this. I don't even smoke cigarettes. I should become the cigarette smoking meditator though. I could start like streaming, and I would smoke like a pack during every meditation that I run people through, that I do a guided meditation for. That'd be kind of interesting. I don't know. I'd have to start smoking. And the only thing is I don't want to start smoking. So like I'd have to figure out, maybe I could get fake cigarettes and do it that way. All right, where are we at here? Let's go back to chat. JT, you say there's value in trying. Poetry is the path. Yeah, exactly. Earlier we were talking about there being inherent value in just trying, in the act of pursuing something, even if you can't actually achieve that goal. That there's value, and then you can learn a lot along the way, even if the goal is actually unobtainable, right? And I subscribe to that. I think that's a really good way of looking at things, right? At least it increases our overall positivity, our overall well-being, if we think that there's value in what we're doing, right? If we think there's no value in what we're doing, if we're going to some job that we fucking hate and can't stand, and it like barely pays us anything, we're just like, what am I even doing with my life? Like if I'm going to be doing this for the next 50 years and then die, like fuck existence. But if we're doing something we enjoy and we're passionate about, or if we're in a relationship that we really care about the other person, or if we're doing yoga and healthy things and improving our bodies and our overall emotional wellness and whatnot, then you just feel better, right? You feel better to have that value, that purpose in your existence. Grace, you said it just started raining here like so hard and the wind is blowing harder than ever. Really? Wow, and you're in Texas, right? Yeah, cool. That's exciting, right? Some people are scared of storms. I fucking love it. When I was younger, I would, everyone would be like, "Oh no, fucking tornado warnings!" We get like a lot of tornado warnings in Illinois, right? That's just how it goes in Chi-Town, right? So like when people would be like tornado warnings, right? And everyone's like like going in their house like smart human beings, and like like going to like the safe places to like like hide in their homes. I would always just fucking run out the fucking door. And I'd be like walking out, I'd take off my shirt and just be like walking outside and like fucking watching everything swirling around and going crazy. Branches would be like flying by my head. I'd love that shit. I know it's like reckless and probably foolhardy and whatnot, but like that's just my nature. I like to fucking go into the storm. I like to, if I see conflict, I go into that conflict. If there's something wrong, in my internal state, I delve into there and I try to explore it and figure out what foundational beliefs do I have that are causing these problems in my life. And I like to go into that shit. Most people run away. I think it's better just to meet that shit head on and see what happens. All right, where are we at here? All right. Grace, you said you should respond to the first move and not just have a move in mind. Yeah, absolutely. So chess is very much about responding to the other person's move. Whenever they make a move, you have to think, okay, what is their plan? That is the first thing that you have to think when they make a move. What is their plan? What are they trying to do? Are they attacking one of my pieces? Right? Are they trying to gain a positional advantage? Are they trying to gain space on the board? What are they trying to checkmate me? What is their plan? You have to like get in their head and think about what they're doing. Like, why are they making that move, right? And then once you know their plan, then you can respond accordingly. You can't just have your own. You can't just have a set plan of what you're going to do. You have to be able to think through see through their lenses, right? You have to be able to see through what in their mind. You have to be able to look at their mind and see what they're doing. And that's how all the best chess players think. Like I watch Hikaru. He's one of the top. He's ranked 19 in the world, but he's like number I think 2 in blitz chess in the world. He's a phenomenal. I watch his streams on Twitch. GM Hikaru, and he's always when he's playing, he's always like, okay, what's he thinking? He's trying to do that. All right, I see what he's trying to do. So that therefore I'm going to respond by doing this and to stop that threat, and then do X, Y, and Z in the process. Right? He's always changing his plan corresponding to what his opponent does. You can't just play without acknowledging your opponent. All right, where are we at here? In chat, yep, Nair is amazing. I love that, Grace. I love it. She totally is amazing, right? She's amazing. Nair, you're a bit sore filling in for Seltz while he's on vacation, so taught kickboxing today. Whoa, nice. Kickboxing is fucking cool. I never took any kickboxing classes. I don't know anything about kickboxing. I took some like cheap ass like fucking taekwondo thing that you you know, you do when you're like a kid, like in America, like because you want to be cooler, because they like say it will like make you more confident. But like, you know, I got to like green belt or some shit, and then I was like, this is garbage. I mean, I barely did anything, and they gave me a fucking trophy that was like this big. It was like this fucking big. It was like this gigantic trophy, and I like barely did anything. And I was like, you know, I don't know, 8 years old. I'm like, what the fuck? I can get a trophy this big for not doing anything? Like this, there's something cheap. There's something wrong about this system. You know, they just like to give the big trophies out because that got kids hooked. It's like what a joke. You know, you want kids to actually have to work for something. You know, you want kids to actually have to like earn something, because if you work hard and earn something, it feels a lot more, right? Like a lot better. Like you can feel it in your soul, right? But if you just like barely do shit and you like get like a big ass trophy, you just start realizing how fucking cheap it is, and how you know, it just doesn't mean as much to you, right? All right, but yeah, I want to learn kickboxing. That'd be cool. Um, let's see, where are we at here now? Uh, did you hear what your squat final was? No. What your squat final? I don't know anything about a squat final. Like what's going on with this? Tell me about this. Swiss, you say 5:11 a.m. You were watching NASA's SpaceX takeoff. Cool. Yeah, right. We got the SpaceX action going now. It's pretty nice. Um, hey, be nice to my friend. You're awesome. Where are we at here? All right. It really is, especially cardio kickboxing. Cool. Cardio kickboxing. Fuck yeah. That's gonna be a great workout. I mean, even when I used to just like do like my shitty ass taekwondo stuff at home, like I always got a good workout from that. And I was just doing like, you know, American shitty taekwondo. JT, you say the native shamans did it during trance. Okay, where are we at here? All right. So Grace, you said you love storms. Yep, storms are awesome. At Swiss, you said Monday people from Europe can fly again to the U.S. Yeah, they're opening shit back up. That makes me really happy, right? Finally, like the borders are opening up, and we're all going to be able to get together. I got a couple of one of my really good friends. I mentioned this guy the other day. I was talking about his uncle who was teaching me chess. Actually, yesterday, right? His uncle was teaching me chess, you know, and you know when I started beating him, he'd smash the pieces and board against the wall. But he's been living in India for like the last 20 years, and him and his mom want to come back here, and they want to like stay with me and hang out, but they haven't been able to because of all the restrictions and whatnot. But so hopefully, you know, once this all opens up, they'll be able to come back here, and you know, he'll be able to come back to his home country, right? At least I hope so. I mean, it's kind of interesting. He's mentally ill, and the last time he was at my place. Okay, this is a ridiculous story. I probably shouldn't even be saying this, but he doesn't watch Twitch, so like I'm gonna say it anyway, and I would say it to his face. I've already called him out on it because I was really angry about it. So you know, him and his mom come in from India, and they spend 3 weeks staying with me in my home. All right, I got them in my home. They're just staying with me. I'm like, hey, come on in. You know, you can stay here with me until you find a place to live. And they were super grateful. Everything's great. Now he's really mentally ill. So this is why I don't hold it against him. If someone's got like bad schizophrenia and the shit's not working with that person right, you got to cut him a little more slack, right? And I've known this guy since I was a young kid, so it's like I'm gonna cut him some slack. And so he would do weird shit, you know, while we're hanging out. But like, whatever, you know, it's whatever. He's mentally ill, so I'm gonna forgive him and just fucking, you know, give him nothing but unconditional love and kindness. But the last fucking thing he did, they were leaving. I literally was helping them carry their fucking bags to the goddamn cab out in front, right? So I took all the bags out there, and then I was wishing them goodbye. And then he's like, you know, I got to go in and use the bathroom real quick. And I was like, fine, you know, here's my keys. Go use the bathroom. So he goes in, comes out, and then, you know, I say goodbye to them, and you know, they leave. I go upstairs. I fucking opened the door to my bathroom because my bathroom door was closed for some reason, and no one was in there. And he had fucking pissed all over the floor. It's like, dude, I had you in my home for 3 weeks. I invited you into my goddamn home for 3 weeks. I was kind and compassionate and generous with you, man. And like, you're gonna just piss all over there's a puddle of piss on my goddamn bathroom floor. Because he just decided it would be a good idea to like piss all over. Now, I'm gonna forgive the guy because he's schizophrenic, and that's not my nature to not forgive the guy. You know, in fact, I've let him come over since then. They came back from India another time, and I saw him. I'm like, dude, are you gonna piss on my floor this time? And he's like, no, dude, I'm sorry about that. I was like, okay, you know, you're welcome to stay in my home, but don't piss on my floor. And then he was fine that time. But like for some reason, he thought it was a good idea to piss all over my floor. And so then I got to spend the next like half an hour, cleaning it up and spreading bleach all over the place and just fucking it was madness, right? It's like what kind of guest is that, right? Oh man, fucking mental illness. I will tell you this about mental illness. It definitely keeps the world interesting, right? It's not too often that you have someone in your home and they decide to urinate all over your floor, right? Where are we at here in chat? Oh, Nanera, your final squat weight, 205. Fuck yeah, Nanera. You got this shit. You're rocking. I love it. I love how hard you work. That's one thing I love about you, Nanera. You fucking give it your all. You're not someone who's gonna half-ass anything. You when I see you working out, you can tell that you're not holding anything back. Every single ounce of your strength and your effort is going into that workout. I fucking love it, Nanera. I love what you do. I love your dedication. It's really inspiring. That's what people need. People need to see someone who's inspired to work out really hard and not just half-ass it. Be like, oh, I don't really feel like it today. I'm just gonna do nothing, or like, oh, I'll work out for like 5 minutes and I don't know. There's something on TV I want to watch. I'm gonna forget it. No, you go in there and you always work out as much as you possibly can, and that's why one of the reasons why I have a tremendous amount of respect for you. All right, where are we at here now? Okay. Swiss, you said maybe he needs some glasses. Yeah, right. It's like, dude, man, don't piss on my floor, right? It's crazy. It's like a weird thing though. It's like weird, like, and he's like my good friend, but he's mentally ill. He's like, I mean, he was literally like hanging out, like talking to himself, like half the time he'd be here, and it's like, dude, hey, come back, and it's like I'd be able to get him back for a minute. We'd like talk for a few, have like a little bit of a conversation, then he'd just kind of go off again. I don't know. He needs to find some kind of medication that's going to work for him. But in India, like he lives in some weird fucking village where they don't believe in like medication. They think he's like possessed or some fucking weird shit like that. So I don't fucking know. I mean, I told him that he needs that. His mom, like I try reasoning with his mom, and she's finally starting to realize that he needs some help. But it's like, dude, you could have realized this like 20 years ago and maybe salvaged his life a little bit. Yeah, Grace, you're right. What if he was marking his territory, right? Maybe he was basically like, hey, this is my fucking place. I mean, animals do that shit, right? Maybe he's like, this is my fucking place. I'm taking your home, man. I'm taking this fucking bathroom. Well, you know what? It is my guest bathroom, so it's not the bathroom I use, all the time. So it is just my guest bathroom. So, I mean, if he really wants it, like, I guess I could put like, I could tell him he could stay there next time he comes by and just let him like stay just in the bathroom, just close the door. It'd be easy cleanup, right? I have my cat's litter box in there. All right. Nanera, you're blushing. Well, you know what? You work out so hard. You try so hard. So it's like, you're doing the best that you could possibly do. Okay, I've been talking a lot. It's time to get to the good shit. So now we're gonna slow things down and lower the intensity. And we're gonna go within to the place of pure love and peace inside of us, so we can connect with the divine energy within us, so that we may find peace and love in our lives and share that peace and love with everyone we encounter in the world. So you're going to want to get in a comfortable seated position. You can sit in lotus pose on the floor. You can sit cross-legged with your back against the wall if you wish. Or you can sit in a chair. The main thing is to find a seated position that is comfortable for you. And then gently close your eyes and take a few deep breaths on your own. And I have a Buddhist chant that I play that has a chime that goes off every 2 seconds. And you can use that chime to help regulate your breath count. Take a few more deep breaths on your own while maintaining good posture. Inhale through your nose, gently raising your belly. Exhale through your mouth, gently lowering your belly. Breathe in through your nose, gently raising your abdomen. Breathe out through your mouth, gently lowering your abdomen. Stay focused on your breath. Inhale, gently raising your belly. Exhale, gently lowering your belly. Breathe in, gently raising your abdomen. Breathe out, gently lowering your abdomen. Keep your awareness on your breath count. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe in. Breathe out. The breath calms the body, and the body calms the mind. Be mindful of your breath. Visualize yourself sitting on a mountaintop, watching the clouds move beneath you. Two clouds merge into one, and one cloud separates into two. You watch as the clouds move through the sky and disappear over the horizon. Those clouds are like your thoughts. Thoughts come into being, exist in conscious awareness for a while, and then disappear from your mind. That is the nature of human thought. You are not your thoughts. Your foundational essence lies beneath the level of thought. Inhale, gently raising your belly. Exhale, gently lowering your belly. Breathe in, gently raising your abdomen. Breathe out, gently lowering your abdomen. Keep your awareness on your breath count. Your essence is love. Light is the manifestation of your love. Your purpose is to shine your light on others. awakening the inner light within them. And they will shine their light on all whom they encounter. Until all of humanity is glowing radiantly once again. Inhale. Exhale, releasing all that does not serve you well. Breathe in. Breathe out, releasing all that is of no benefit. Stay focused on your breath count. When thoughts arise in your mind, visualize them as clouds moving through the sky and disappearing over the horizon. And return your focus to your breath count. Your essence is love. The manifestation of that love is light. Your purpose is to shine that light on others. which will awaken the inner light within them. And then they will shine their lights on all whom they encounter. Until all of humanity reunites in oneness once again. Inhale. Exhale, releasing all that is of no benefit. Breathe in. Breathe out, releasing all ego which obscures your third eye sight. Stay focused on your breath count. When thoughts arise in your mind, do not judge them. Instead, gently visualize them as clouds moving through the sky. And watch as they disappear over the horizon. And as the last cloud disappears, your mind is completely empty. Travel down beneath the level of conscious awareness. Go to the region of your heart chakra. Feel the love that emanates from that location. Feel the warmth that surrounds your love. Stay here in the region of your heart chakra. Stay here in the place of perfect love. For in this place, you experience perfect peace. This place is your eternal home. Inhale. Exhale, releasing all that does not serve you well. Breathe in. Breathe out, releasing all ego which obscures your third eyesight. Return to the place of perfect love at your heart chakra and focus on your breath count. In the external world, there are many sources of strife. There are many things in which one can lose their head over. The external world is based on attack and defense. For the nature of dualism is separation. But when we look inside, we go to the place of pure monism. In that place, there is only oneness. that place, fear cannot enter. For in that place, there is only love. And that love is eternal. And your essence is that love. Being love, you flow from the source of all creation. For the source is pure love. That is the metaphysical nature of reality. That is capital T truth. That is immutable. For you flow eternally from the source. Inhale. Exhale, releasing all that is of no benefit. Breathe in. Breathe out, releasing all ego which would obscure your third eye sight. In this place of perfect love, ego cannot enter. For fundamental to ego is separation. Fundamental to love is oneness. That which is one cannot be two. In the space of perfect love, you feel perfect peace. In this space of perfect love, you are perfect love. In this space of perfect love, you feel bliss. For perfect oneness is your divine inheritance. Inhale, traveling down deeper into the place of pure love. Exhale, releasing all ego which would prevent you from going there. Breathe in, traveling further down into that place of pure oneness. Breathe out, releasing any ego thoughts that try to keep you imprisoned within duality. Inhale, travel down to the perfect point of your love. And notice the joy that you experience there. Stay at the center point of this joy. The ego is threatened by you going to the place of pure love within. And it should be. For by traveling in to the state of pure oneness, the ego loses its hold over you. You will be a prisoner no more of the ego. For you feel nothing but the purest love. And you realize that the purest love was yours all along. And you can let the ego disappear into the nothingness from which it came. For you have found your eternal home. And you remember your true identity. And you remember how you came to be. And you come to remember your purpose. Stay here in this place of perfect love. For it is yours for eternity. And when you go back out to the external world, bring your perfect love with you to all those in which you encounter. And share your perfect love with them. Awakening the inner love within them. And then they will share their love with all whom they encounter. Until the whole world reunites in that place of perfect oneness. And as one mind, we can let go of the ego forever. Because we realize it was of no benefit to us at all. And all pain and sorrow disappear with the ego. For only truth remains in this eternal home. are finally free. Inhale. Exhale, releasing all stress and tension from your body. Breathe in. Breathe out, releasing all stress and tension from your mind. Your altar is perfectly clean. And you shine with the most glorious light imaginable. You shine so bright that all of humanity can feel your love. And you are grateful that you remember who you truly are. Gently open your eyes and return to the present moment. Bring with the peace of this meditation throughout the remainder of your day. Namaste. Thank you so much for sharing the sacred space with me. I am humbled to be here as your meditation guide and to help remind you who you truly are in case you forgot. I can feel your light shining radiantly throughout the cosmos. It's beautiful, and you are beautiful. And all that shit in the external world that tries to tell you that you're not is incorrect. You are divine. You are perfection. That was given to you for eternity. Thank you. Hey, right on cue, Simply 990. Thank you so much for the follow. Much appreciated. I hope everyone got something out of that meditation. I sure needed that. I was pretty intense and high-strung prior to the meditation. So thank you all so much for being here and share with me and sharing the sacred space. It really makes me happy that you're willing to do the work to help come to remember your true essence. So thank you so much. All right. JT Farms, was that the good shit you were talking about? Let's see. Namaste. Namaste, Swiss and Grace Yoga. Thank you so much. Two of the kindest people I know. Two sources of love and light in this Twitch madness. We're here to spread that kindness and joy throughout the Twitch world. We're gonna convert one toxic stream per day to pure love and light. I feel good. I'm so happy. I'm so happy that we're all here together. So happy that we're able to spend this joy together. This is what it's all about. Feeling that love with other people. There's nothing else in the universe that matters except connecting with other people and feeling that perfect love and oneness and remembering who you truly are. Your essence being that love. So thank you. Okay, and Christine the Bean and JT Farms, you say, fuck yeah, awesome. That was the good shit that you were talking about earlier before the meditation. I'm here to deliver the good shit. Hey, that should be the title of my next stream. Agni James, humbly teaches guided meditation. I'm here with the good shit. All right. Okay, enough joking around for now. I'm truly honored and humbled. Thank you. Let's do a raid. Who are we going to raid here? Let's see. Swiss R, you say raid Check Meow? Swiss, your wish is my command. I will raid Check Meow. She's incredible. She's one of the top streamers on Twitch. Tons of value in her work. Definitely check her out. Drop her a follow. Yeah, she's live. She's live this time. So I got to raid her, right? I got to rate her. It's like if Grace is live, I rate her every time. If Kittens is live, I rate him. And if Check Meow is live, I rate her. All right. Peace out.